Hi, warrior leaders. I'm thrilled to be able to do another video for you. Hopefully next week I will be able to do a live, but I will still want you guys to watch this video and interact as though it was a Facebook Live. So when you get some ideas or you're liking stuff or you got any questions as I'm talking through the video, just type them in the chat box because I think it's really important to be able to express your ideas and your questions so that other people that are watching can learn. So please do that. Today I'm going to be talking about dog with a bone. And it's a saying I say often in my business because we need as business owners to be like a dog with a bone. Like a dog with a bone. If you give a dog a bone, like I know I give my little dog Henry a bone, he will not let that bone go. It is like life and death. And the thing is about business is that we need to be like that with our business. We need to be so, hold on to what we want and hold on to that bone and hold on to that idea and that why and do anything it takes to be able to create what we want to create. I remember I know the saying 90% of success is showing up. Just showing up is 90% of success is showing up. And half the time, most people don't show up. They show up in the good times. They'll always be there in the good times. They'll be there with bells and whistles on, and here I am in the good times. But when it's challenging times, that's when not everyone shows up. And so if you're showing up, you're already ahead of the pack. Now, those of you that have been to some of my live events know that, I would have an event, a free event for the public, and I would put it out there and people would say, yes, I'm coming, and all the invites go out and 250 people say, yes, I'm going to show up. And every single time, it didn't matter what we did we even did follow-up phone calls for people. And we would always ring them or email them and make sure they're coming. But on the day, guess how many people show up? Normally it's less than half. So I could have 250 people saying, yes, I'm coming, and 100 show up. Now, of course, out of the 150 that didn't show up, there would be some really good reasons why. There might be something that happened in their life that they can't get out of, and I get that. But let me tell you, I know that a huge percentage of them decided not to show up. So maybe they hit the snooze button on the alarm. Maybe they thought, instead of working on my business and going to this business event, maybe I'll just go out and have lunch with my friend. Or maybe I'll just go and sit by the pool. So I know that most people are not freaking showing up. And so even the people that came to the room, I would say to the people in my room and say, you know what? You're already ahead of the game because there's so many people that should be in here that are not in here. And you guys have said yes, and you are here. You not only did you say, yes, I'm coming, but you showed up. And you kept that commitment to yourself. And that's the most important thing. One of the coaches that I worked with, she would often say, in business, if something doesn't work, you try something else. If that didn't work, try something else. If that didn't work, try something else, or try something else, or try something else. But never, ever give up or be like a dog with that bone. You're always showing up and always looking at how you're going to make things better. Now, those of you might have remembered, I think it was last week when I was ready to do a Facebook Live. Now, I promised you guys I was doing a Facebook Live. So I prepped for it. I thought, what value can I give you guys today? Got ready for it, did a thing to say I'll be on at 11 a.m. And guess what happened? I got blocked. Facebook blocked me for whatever reason. And so I thought, okay, now I could have easily, it's really interesting. I had a chat with my hubby, and he said to me, it's so interesting how you think. Because how many times would someone have said, yes, I'm going to do a Facebook Live, and then can't do it, like I couldn't do it because it was blocked. I'm blocked from Facebook at the moment. Would have just said, oh, well, I'll do it next week. And because I've got an excuse, right? I've got a big excuse because I can't freaking get on there. So I could have easily put in a comment and said, sorry, guys, I'm blocked from Facebook. I'll do it next week. Could have easily done that. Now, let me tell you, it didn't even cross my mind to do that. It didn't cross my mind because I'm like, this is my commitment. How am I going to make it work? And so then I went to the next stage. I thought, okay, well, I'll do a video. It's not what I wanted, but I'll do a video instead. So I went and did the video. Then I went to upload the video, and Facebook wouldn't let me upload the video either. And so then I thought, that's okay. I'll upload it to YouTube, and then I'll get the video up there. And that's what I did. And success, third time lucky. The point of the matter is that we need to be like a dog with a bone. And we've got to be a dog with a bone with the promises that we make to ourselves in our business. Because it's so easy to fall into excuses. And it's so easy to do the easy way rather than the more challenging way. And so we've got to be showing up all the time. I love Tony Robbins saying here, if you sincerely want to change your life, raise your standards. What changes people is when their shoulds become musts. Now I say that again. If you sincerely want to change your life, raise your standards. What changes people is when their shoulds become musts. And so it's not that we're going to do this. This is happening, right? This is happening regardless. You say I'm going to do it and you're going to do it. Let me tell you, in my line of work as a coach, I see people saying excuses to themselves all the time. And they try and get out of life. But what they're doing is they're getting out of life, getting out of, I don't know, maybe committing to a cause because it's like, oh, I don't know if I should do it. So they make all these excuses about maybe they haven't got the time, they haven't got the money. And they talk themselves out of success. And it really frustrates me because I'm like, I want to get them and I want to shake them and say, come on, you can do this. Take a friggin' risk and make sure that you commit to what you say. And I know how challenging it can be. I've been there. I've been, made decisions and been in the shower, like taking deep breaths because it's such a big commitment. But I do it anyway. And so we've got to stop. We've got to stop bullshitting ourselves. That's what we've got to do and show up. No excuses. Start showing up more. One of the things that I like to look at is writing a list, and I'd love you guys to write this list. If this is really resonating with you, get a piece of paper or even write it in the chat box and type in, what are you not going to tolerate anymore in your life? What are you going to make a decision for and say, I'm not going to accept this anymore? What is that going to be? So it might be as simple as I was talking to my Business Breakthrough Mastery students today, and I was talking about making sure, there's habits that we have that don't serve us. And one of mine was taking a phone in my bedroom. Like, no, that's unacceptable for JJ, because if I put a phone in my room, then I start to surf on the net rather than read my book. So for me, that doesn't serve me and that's unacceptable. So I will not tolerate taking my phone in the bedroom. So what is it for you that you're not going to tolerate anymore? You're not going to accept anymore. You're going to say, this is me raising my standards. And write that down. Type it in the chat box if you can. And make this, if you're typing into the chat box, you're actually saying, this is my commitment, and I'm going to tell everyone about this commitment. I'm going to say, this is something that I will not tolerate anymore, and this is something I won't accept in my life anymore. And start to really be your own best coach. And being your own best coach, yes, it's when you encourage yourself and support yourself and speak to yourself kindly and empower yourself, but it's also about kicking your own butt and saying that is not acceptable. And when you do that, you start to raise your standards. And so I think it's really important to do a couple of things. Number one is look at the stuff you're not going to accept anymore, that you are not going to tolerate in your life anymore, and write that down and have that. Put it somewhere in your room or on your computer or in your diary, your planner, and have it there, and make sure you refer to it and say, look, this is what I'm not accepting and tolerating anymore, whatever that is. And then have another list of stuff of who you're going to be. Who are you being? In 2022, who are you being? And I love to write this in as if you already have it, right? So if you got a blank piece of paper right now, and you could write down maybe some starting points is that it could be I am. So I am standing on stage right now, empowering 1,000 business people. So really say it as if it's happening right now. And what are you seeing? And I'm seeing all this beautiful smiling faces. And I'm seeing and I'm hearing. So what are you hearing? Get all the senses into it. What are you hearing? And I'm hearing people go, yay, thanks, JJ, yay. And I'm hearing people say, yes, I had so much success last year. And I'm hearing all of this great stuff happening in the room, and I'm feeling the love in the room. So get all your senses into it. So you might start with I am in the present. So what's happening in your life that when you're stepping up and when you've been a dog with a bone, what are you seeing? What are you seeing in your environment? So my environment I've created, and you can say a beautiful space. So it could be a house I've created. I love looking around my office and seeing the beautiful space that I've created with the bookshelves with all books and the motivational quotes and the vision board up there. I'm looking around and it feels so beautiful. And I can hear the music and the candle flickering or the diffuser on. And so really get into that space that you've created. Now, I'm helping. Who are you helping? Because you've stepped up and you've been a dog with a bone, who are you helping? I've helped, you could say I've helped 1,000 business owners in the last couple of months step up, and those that have started with nothing and now are doing 6 figures. And again, get into the feeling, what you're seeing their faces. What are they telling you? They've maybe sent you an email to say, thank you so much. I didn't even have a business and now I'm on 6 figures. I can't believe that. Like, who are you helping? Who are you helping in your family? And again, say it as if you were there right now. So it could be, a partner's looking at me and saying to me, wow, you've really created something amazing in 2022. Thank you so much. What is your partner or your kids saying to you, or your mother or your father? What are they saying to you? And what are your clients saying to you? Who are you helping? And what does your money look like? So you might say, I'm just so grateful. And I'm looking right now at my screen on my bank statement, and I'm looking at the abundance that's come my way, and really talk about that abundance that's come your way, and what you've created with that, and how you've helped more people because of that. And what about your spirituality, and how has that grown, and how has that affected people around you? So really think about who you are being and put yourself in the situation of being that. And those prompters of I am, or my environment is, or I'm helping, or money is, or my spirituality is. Think about some different prompters to be able to put yourself in that moment, and make sure that you're saying language like I am, as though you were there, you're experiencing it right now, not in the future language. I am right now, and put all your senses to it. So that's really thinking about when you're a dog with a bone, you're thinking about, yes, getting rid of all that stuff that's not serving you and saying, I am not going to tolerate this, and I'm not going to accept this in my life anymore, and be very strong with that. And then looking and saying, hey, this is now what I've created, and really experiencing that. I think of most successful people are not necessarily the most skilled or talented. I've seen some really skilled and talented people, business owners, and I still know very skilled and talented business owners that are not achieving what they want to achieve in life. And we all have different goals. Some of them aren't dollars. Some of them are people. Some of them, we have different things that we want to achieve. So please don't think of success only in dollar terms. But a lot of these people that aren't successful in their goals are because they're not showing up. Now, I know that there are coaches that are not as talented as me or as skilled as me, but I also know that there would be skilled and more talented coaches than me. Yet they might be really skilled and not showing up, right? So if you're showing up, you have got the edge on others that aren't. And if you're consistently showing up, because it's not like you show up when it's the good times, you've got to consistently show up in the good times, the bad times, the ugly times, you're there. And I think the great thing that the last couple of years have shown us is that not everyone shows up in the challenging times. Not everyone speaks up in challenging times. Some people retreat and they stay there. I know many coaches in my field that have not got a business anymore, and they didn't show up in definitely in the last 12 months, and some of them in the last 2 years. And so it's really important for us to know that if we keep showing up, even when it's challenging, even when it's hard, even when shit hits the fan, we're still showing up. And when we have that habit of doing that, we create this habit, and when things like the Facebook Live doesn't work, it's such a habit that you're going to be tenacious. You're going to be that dog with a bone. You're going to hold on anyway. And you're going to think of other ways to do things, because there's a lot of different ways to do things. And I think all of us in business know that now. Our lives have been turned around in the last 2 years, and they've been shaken up. And I think this has been a really great time for us to be able to embrace uncertainty and be able to say, hey, let's look at doing things differently. There's always different ways to do things. And instead of just giving up because it wasn't like how it used to be a dog with a bone. Show up. And if that doesn't work, if you do something and it doesn't work, try something else. If that doesn't work, try something else, and keep trying something else and back yourself. So I trust that this has been valuable for you guys. I can't wait to see your thoughts and your ideas and your questions that you might have below. But I'm really passionate about showing up, and I'm really passionate about knowing that I've got some really amazing people in this group that I know that still aren't showing up like I know that they can. I know that. And the biggest thing is that you can't hide from yourself. And knowing that from year to year, the really challenging thing to understand for each of us is that whatever area in our life that we're not happy with, I want you to think of that right now. So it could be your health, It could be your finances. It could be your business growth. It could be your relationships. Whatever that area is that's not working how you want it to work, I want you to look at it and think about the pattern and how long that's played out for. Now, some of you, the pattern maybe didn't play out that long. Maybe it was a big change happened with what happened in the last 2 years that it was like, whoa, and it's easy to blame anything that's happened outside of us. But I want you to look at it because often it's got a pattern. And the pattern is that we might have, and I know for me, there's things I've written in my diary that I've written every freaking year for the last 2-3 years that I still haven't freaking done, right? And so that's a pattern of behavior. And you look at it and you go, why haven't I done that? Who do I need to become to ensure that I create that? Because if it's really important to you, if you're in business or you want to start your own business and you know in your heart that there's more that you can do in your business, but you may, even if you don't even know what that is, and if you know in your heart that you're not committing 100% to that, then this is your time to make sure that you write that list and say, I'm not going to accept this anymore. I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. I'm ready to step up. What's that going to look like? And start creating who you're going to be. Because for me, from a coach's perspective, it really frustrates me to see people with all of this potential and having the same excuses week after week, month after month, year after year, and then saying one day, someday, I wish, when they could be doing it right now. And so I really hope this resonates with you on some level. And as I said, I know that there's people in this group that some of you are stepping up really amazingly and doing amazing stuff. And I'm watching you guys and just in awe of what you're creating and how many people that you're helping. And then there's others that I know have got all the potential in the world that are holding yourself back. There is no one else holding you back but you, even though you might say it's somebody else or something else. It's you. And so it's time to take a risk and start setting some real boundaries and rules for yourself to say, hey, this is the time. I'm stepping up now. No more excuses. You might say time, money, whatever. You might try and hide. Stop it. Just stop it. Stop hiding and start doing. Because you've got other people that are relying on you, whether you know it or not, that are relying on you to create whatever it is that you are here to create, whether it be writing that book, creating that business, getting on stage, talking to 10 people, 1,000 people, whatever that is. People are waiting for someone like you to step up, and you can do that whenever you choose. You've just got to keep showing up and be like a dog with a bone. Thank you, guys. I can't wait to see your great comments below. I'll post this ASAP, and fingers crossed I might be on Facebook Live next week. Let's see how we go. I don't know how long I'm off for, but I'll just keep going in because I'm a dog with a bone and I can still keep going in and seeing how I go. If not, I'll just keep doing videos until I can get in. Thank you, guys. Have an awesome week. Can't wait to see your comments. And please make sure you keep contributing to this group. If you've got any great things that you want to share with people, this isn't a selling group, of course. There's no buy my stuff, but it is about sharing ideas and making sure that you're supporting the group. So please make sure you contribute so that you can uplift everyone's learning in the group. Thank you, guys. I will talk to you soon. Have a great week. See ya.